You want to be good, Carl Jung once said. But what about the shadow? You are not only good, you are also bad. And until you accept this, you will never be whole. The shadow. It is the name Jung gave to the hidden half of the psyche. The parts of you that do not fit your self-image. The pieces you exile into darkness because they are too shameful, too dangerous, too strange to admit. But listen carefully. What you refuse to face will not vanish. It will wait. It will whisper. And if you deny it too long, it will erupt. In your relationships, your failures, your fate. Until you make the unconscious conscious, Jung warned, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The shadow is the most immediate form of that unconscious. It is the man you refuse to admit you are. It is the woman you cannot bear to see in yourself. It is the stranger you meet in your dreams. And unless you face it, it will live your life for you. The birth of the shadow. Every child is born whole. Every child bursts with instincts, joy, curiosity, rage, tenderness, greed, creativity. But no child remains whole for long. Society begins its pruning. The boy who cries is told, "Be strong." The girl who asserts herself is told, "Be nice." The wild imagination is silenced in favor of discipline. We adapt. We cut off parts of ourselves. We build a mask to survive. Jung called it the persona, the face we present to the world. But what happens to what doesn't fit the mask? It doesn't disappear. It goes underground. It sinks into the unconscious. It becomes the shadow. Jung wrote, the shadow develops at first in the individual's childhood and is continually pressed down in the course of life. So when you think of the shadow, don't think of evil. Think of abandonment. Think of the unlived life inside you. Imagine a little boy whose father mocks him for crying. That child learns, my sadness is not allowed. So he hides it. Years later, as a man, he can't connect deeply with anyone. Or imagine a girl who is told she's too bossy. She learns to smile sweetly and stay small. But in adulthood, she cannot assert herself, and bitterness poisons her relationships. The shadow is born in these small moments, and it does not forget. Meeting the stranger at first, you do not notice your shadow. You believe in the mask. You are convinced you are only kind, only rational, only moral. But then something happens. You overreact. You snap at someone for no reason. You feel jealousy so strong it shocks you. You sabotage the very thing you thought you wanted. Where did it come from? It came from the stranger inside you. Jung described it with brutal clarity. The shadow is a moral problem that challenges the whole ego personality. To become conscious of it involves recognizing the dark aspects of the personality as present and real. The shadow is real. That is what makes it dangerous. The mother who screams at her child. The saint who falls into scandal. The leader undone by greed. These are not accidents. They are eruptions of the shadow long denied. And often, the person is the last to see it. To them, the outburst seems like, not me. But Jung would say, it was always you. It was the part of you you refused to admit. The man who is possessed by his shadow, Jung warned, is always standing in his own light and falling into his own traps. You think you are in control, but if you refuse the shadow, it is the one controlling you. Projection. The mirror of the shadow. The shadow does not only live in you, it leaks into the world. You see it in the people you hate. You see it in the people you envy. You see it in the ones you cannot stop thinking about. Jung wrote, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." This is projection. The shadow puts on another's face, so you don't recognize it as your own. UA, despise arrogance because you deny your own hunger for recognition. You condemn selfishness because you are terrified of your own unmet needs. You mock weakness because you cannot face your own vulnerability. Projection explains why people repeat the same conflicts again and again. The partner who always seems too controlling. The boss who always seems unfair. The friend who always betrays. At some point, Jung would ask, is it always them? Or is it your shadow wearing their face? And projection is not only negative, sometimes it is golden. Jung spoke of the golden shadow, the light we disown because it feels too dangerous. The courage we admire in others may be our own. The creativity we worship may be buried inside us. The brilliance we see in the other may be the unlived brilliance of our own soul. So when you find yourself obsessed with someone, whether in hatred or admiration, ask, what is the shadow showing me? Dreams, where the shadow walks. When the mask sleeps, the shadow speaks. Jung observed that the shadow often appears in dreams as enemies, tricksters, rivals, or dark strangers. He wrote in Man and His Symbols, in dreams, the shadow appears as a person of the same sex as the dreamer, whose character is in some way inferior or negative. But sometimes the shadow is a stronger personality, one who can exert a positive influence. The nightmare that chases you, the rival who humiliates you, the outlaw who tempts you. These figures are not random. They are the shadow calling. Jung's patients often discovered that when they faced these figures in imagination, they learned something vital about themselves. The dream enemy was not only a threat, it was also a messenger. The shadow, Jung wrote, when it appears in dreams, is quite within the realm of possibility. It might well happen that one meets oneself. The collective shadow, the shadow, is not only personal. Jung warned that entire nations, cultures, and religions have shadows. He lived through 2 world wars. He saw firsthand how societies project their unacknowledged darkness onto others. The psychological rule says that when an inner situation is not made conscious, it happens outside, as fate. What individuals repress, societies enact. Prejudice, violence, genocide. Every war begins as a shadow denied. Jung pointed to the Nazi era as an eruption of Germany's collective shadow. The denied rage, humiliation, and fear after World War I were projected outward, with catastrophic results. And he warned that this was not unique to Germany. The world hangs by a thin thread, he said, and that thread is the psyche of man. In other words, humanity's survival depends on whether individuals will face their own shadows. The work of integration. What, then, are we to do? Jung did not tell us to destroy the shadow. He told us to integrate it, to confront. A person with his shadow is to show him his own light, he wrote in Psychology and Alchemy. The shadow is not an enemy to kill. It is a teacher to face. Integration begins with recognition, noticing when you overreact, watching your projections, listening to your dreams, writing down the truths you avoid. Jung developed active imagination, a practice of dialoguing with inner figures, asking them what they want, what they fear. But he warned, this is not easy work. No one can become conscious of the shadow without considerable moral effort. Why? Because it is humbling. It strips away illusions. It forces you to admit, I am not only good, I am also dangerous. I am also weak. I am also capable of what I condemn in others. But if you endure this, something changes. The gold in the darkness. Jung insisted that the shadow does not only carry darkness, it carries treasure. In the shadow are hidden potentialities that can lead to new growth. Your anger may become courage. Your envy may become ambition. Your fear may become wisdom. Your vulnerability may become intimacy. The shadow is not a prison. It is a reservoir. It is the unlived life, waiting. And when you integrate it, you stop being a puppet of your unconscious. You gain freedom. You live more authentically, and perhaps most important, you grow more compassionate. For once you know your own darkness, you stop projecting it onto others. You see that every person carries a shadow, and you treat them with greater mercy. The choice Carl Jung's words echo like prophecy. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The shadow is that unconscious. It is the stranger you meet in your rage, in your envy, in your dreams. It is the life you refused. You can deny it. You can project it. You can let it rule you in secret, or you can turn toward it. You can listen. You can integrate. The shadow waits. The question is, will you meet it? Or will you let it live your life for you? And if you do meet it, if you walk into the darkness, you may discover that the shadow was never only darkness. It was also the key to your light. Next, we follow the shadow into its most cunning disguise: projection. Seeing in others what you refuse to see in yourself. At MindCrafters, this series on Carl Jung is more than psychology. It is a journey into the hidden architecture of the mind. The purpose is simple: to uncover the truths you rarely face and to translate Jung's most powerful ideas into tools for your own self-discovery. In the next videos, we'll explore how the shadow disguises itself through projection, how dreams reveal your inner world, and how Jung's path of individuation leads to wholeness. If this exploration resonates with you, we invite you to support the journey. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need these insights. Together, we're crafting minds for deeper awareness and